let's just check that up. So if I go, no, we're on the red game. Yeah. So on the Mavericks, we're looking at Loium, the enormous hive protester, and look at here, 65 SAS, one of the lowest we've seen from today. Double Senator Strix, Axiom of Power, so quite controlling in its Forge Master OG. Quite interesting aspects there. Anything catching your eye in this one, Tom?
Okay.
Ancient Power, Ancient Power and Axiom of Grisk is going to be huge. City Gates, the Flex, Berserker Slam. Quite interesting they brought a Brobnar Worlds Collide deck. Brobnar gets a lot of hate in Worlds Collide, but I kind of like it. I think it went very more control-y rather than just straight up hitting stuff.
I think you can get a very good. It's rare, but you can get a very good Brobnar Worlds Collide deck, and I think most people, as soon as they see Brobnar, just discount it.
Yeah, I've got one of my favourite ones from Worlds Collide, my Spaceport deck, is basically you archive your Brobnar and then you just drop it to wipe out all your opponent's amber. It's delicious. Nobody expects the Brobnar Inquisition. Okay, so it just looks like a good all-rounder sort of control deck. Customs Office, Double Senator Strix, nice protection from there. Phoenix Strike, and then move on to the Granada Red, 67, and this one, yeah, this is just, it's control-y, but it's also quite fast. Which the Eye, Hunting Witch, Double Arise, Double Lost in the Woods, Phylaxia, Regrowth, Life Web, Full Moon.
Oh, I like this deck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Double Arise, Double Hand of Disc, Double Charette.
King of the Crag is going to be very important here because King of the Crag is not in Worlds Collide.
Yeah.
And he is up against the Brobnar deck.
And Too Heavy to Huge as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Double Gang of Chieftain, Bumpsy, Hand of Disc, Double Charette, Lash Your Broken Dreams, Free Fates, Ember Imp, Double Arise. When you've got Double Arise and the Hunting Witch Full Moon, that could get nuts.
Yep, it can get very disgusting.
Has also got the Witch of the Eye Nocturnal Maneuver combo, where you can just keep locking 3 of your opponent's creatures down.
All the doubles in this deck just make me think consistency.
Yes, exactly. You're thinking that you're going to get at least a Troll and a Gang of Chieftain quite quickly. You're going to get a Hand of Distant and a Rise quite quickly. A Lost in the Woods quite quickly.
Yep, exactly. I mean, it can go awry, right? You can end up with a starting hand of like Double Hand of a Disc, Double Arise, and yuck. That's the kind of rubbish I'm mulligan into.
Oh, well, that's the risk of playing a deck like this, isn't it? That you're going to get those God hands where you get an Arise with all your untamed creatures in the discard, but you're also going to get an Arise really early. But if you discard an Arise early, you know you've got another one in the deck waiting to go.
Yep.
It's not like when you only got one Arise and you draw it early and you got to weigh up whether it's worth getting rid of it or holding onto it as a chain for the first few turns.
I think this is going to be interesting.
It's definitely going to be interesting. Are we going to be placing bets on whether we see a turn 1 Terror or Phylaxia from this deck?
I love a turn 1 Terror.
Turn 1 Terror or Phylaxia is always good. Right, so let's get rid of that. And then let's get straight into the game. Right, so turn 1 is going to the Mavericks. We're seeing a 3-3. Oh, we're seeing a 3-4. Actually, I think that might be a mulligan hand though. You've only got a J Vinder. You're looking at Life Web, Full Moon, Charette, Gang of Chieftain, King of the Crag, and Bumpsy. Not bad on the bottom.
Not bad at all.
On the top, you've not really got. I mean, you could drop the J Vinder, then you could drop the 3 artifacts next turn. Or you could drop the Subtle Maul now and give your opponent the opportunity to get ahead. creature wise, but start going for that hand destruction. I don't think there was many artifacts in the Granada list. There's Lash of Broken Dreams, which I'm more than happy to pay 1 amber to get on the board.
Yeah, definitely. But interestingly, there's no amber control, so I would.
Well, on the Granada list there's Charettes, there's Bumpsy. Does
Sorry,
play? Go on.
artifact control.
No, there's no artifact control. But we don't really see many Heart of the Forest decks in this. I mean, we have had in the Discord someone complaining that this time there's a Heart of the Forest deck taking advantage of the fact we don't have a time limit, and that might be something we want to look into with for next season.
Yeah.
So we see the Subtle Maul. We drop the 3 Brahmana creatures. Plays a Bumpsy for no value on the opponent's side, but does get 1 from the Ganga Chieftain. And you just drop the shadows here, don't you? Discard a card from your opponent's hand. Chance that's going to be untamed. No, gets rid of the Hebe. Ooh. That actually works in the Granada's favour because they've got the majority of creatures.
Yeah, very much so.
So we see Subtle Chain. We see City Gates. We've got the Axiom of Grisk in hand as well now. Untamed. Full Moon. So yeah, we're just seeing Granada's rushing here, pushing forward. This 3 Fates is a dead card. Now, Charette I like here, because Charette is going to put Terror online, and that is really good.
Yeah, I agree, actually. That's fantastic.
Do you 3 Fates just to arise them back? Because Bumpsy will take 1, Ganga Chieftain will ready and fight, and King of the Crag doesn't really make much of a difference.
Interesting. Okay, well, we've got Yancy Gang. I see another Subtle Maul here.
Discards the Witch of the Eye. Oh.
Here comes a Subtle Chain, I think.
But has got regrowth to get that Witch of the Eye back, he says. Discards 3 Fates, that's good. Granada have got to be looking at like, yeah, I've got to put up with a Yancy Gang, but it could have been a lot worse.
Could have been a lot worse. Could have been an Axiom. Staring down an Axiom.
I think
I don't know that I wouldn't have gone sorry in this turn, to be honest, and just cleared that board.
Guess so. I think he's hoping that the fact that he's only got the Charettes that capture Amber, he's going to be able to get a much bigger one on his side, because City Gates allows all his friendly creatures to capture one.
Yeah, that's true.
So
it protects from the Axiom.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be a nice one-sided on that side. So Charette into Terror. Do you arise the Witch of the Eye?
Or is he going to hold it?
Imagine you hold it here. Discards the Arise just to draw. Gets the second Arise ready to go. Phylaxia looks like it's going to do some serious work here.
Yeah, wow. With that regrowth.
But we're on 6, which means to stop this key, they're going to have to go Shadows again, which is not the greatest option. Because
taking a turn off, get the Spike Trap out.
Spike Trap, you can Subtle Maul, get rid of 1 in the hand.
Yeah.
Special delivery into Jay Vinder on the Charette.
It's not a bad shout.
Because
gets
rid of it and you steal 1. There's the Spike Trap. Subtle Maul, it's a 2/2/2 hand. If it hits the Arise, again, huge, not a big loss here. When you've got the bigger board and you've got no way to heal, these Hebes go into the discard. Not bad.
Yeah, you're probably not really wanting to play it anyway.
Exactly. Usually it's a steal 1, gets down again. Plays J-Rinder. Agrees with J-Rinder, just going to deal with 1 damage, I guess. Is holding on to this, wants to go for a purge. Or maybe they realised they made a bit of a misplay. The reaps. I think the fact the damage is there has been like I should have done the special delivery first. So we're seeing a free. Yeah, it'll be.
The special delivery would only have done 3, right? To the terror or
Oh
the.
yeah, it's a flank with special delivery, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I guess he's doing it to he's going to deal damage to the terror, and hope that the next card that comes down isn't going to be on the terror side. No, deals to the King of the Crag.
Right.
Once his
Wow.
now we're seeing a Strix in hand, a City Gates, and an Axiom of Grace. That is a dangerous combination. If you're going to be able to capture 2 a turn with the City Gates onto the Senator Strix.
White bar, there's that Flaxia though. Regrowth the Witch.
Definitely regrowth the Witch. So we're definitely going to be seeing the Granadas get the first key here. There's nothing really in hand that can stop it now. Probably should have regrowth the Witch before playing the Flaxia, so then the special delivery couldn't have just wiped it out. Reese Rook gets up to 8. Are we going to see the regrowth come down now, or we're going to see it wait? It's going to be very interesting.
I think you want to just get cycling with this, right?
Yeah, once we get through your deck, go cycling. There it is, regrowth onto Witch of the Eye.
Yeah. Well, like you say, now that Witch is at danger from the special delivery.
Okay. Yeah, if you'd have played the Witch of the Eye first. Okay, now you got the charrette. Axiom is going to wipe out everything apart from charrettes.
Yeah. Mm.
The interesting thing about the Senator Strix plays here is that Shula's going to be very hard. Going to be very limited in what it can actually do, because you need your opponent to go over 4. But with Senator Strixes on the board, they don't need to.
No, you just save it up on him.
Exactly. Now that special delivery should be hardcore alting onto that Witch just to purge it. But if you're going to Axiom anyway, does it matter?
Well, yeah, I don't know. Do you want to purge it and get the tool just out of the game so you can forget about it?
If you've looked at your opponent's list and you know they're running 2 Arises, 2 Regrowths, it might be worth getting that purge.
Yeah. Yeah, here it comes anyway.
Exactly. Drop Senator Strix, use its ability to exalt, play the Axiom, ward it up, knowing that it's even harder to get rid of then. Axiom will give you 2 chains, but it will give you complete board control, because your opponent will be on 4 and you will be on 4. Your opponent will have 1 creature, and you'll have 1 creature, but your creature will be warded.
I'm going to be a key down after this turn.
Okay, but he'll be on a. It won't be on check right away. No, going for the. He's going for the special delivery to purge the. Interesting.
I think it's fair. I think it's fair.
Do you ward up? Do you ward up the Senator Strix with the Axiom, or do you ward up the Yancey gang to maintain your board advantage? No.
I think you've got to protect that Shreks.
Playing Power Guardian is going to be huge.
Yeah, if you can get to reap with it, which is. What's the line of play here, right?
You
fight that into the Shrix and then gateway to Dis. And then
gateway to Dis, get the Amber.
Ret, shoot, yeah.
So you gateway to Dis here. You get the play Shula to steal 1.
Yeah, gateway to Dis anyway.
Yeah, exactly. You arise. You then use the charrette to capture one. Capture three. You play
Shula first.
Use the second charrette to capture one. Oh no, yeah. So you Shula first to steal one. Charrette capture three. Charrette capture zero. Terror for two.
Yes, exactly. This is beautiful.
It is beautiful. And then next turn, you've got a Lost in the Woods ready to go to put that empty charrette and Shula back in your deck to deny the next key. This is a complete reverse of what we saw in the last game.
It is. It really, really is.
Campus of the Granadas is in complete control of this game. This is one of the reasons why I love this, because for as chaotic as they are, once they get control of a game, if you can't take it back straight away, you're in trouble. And I like the way Campus has set up his board here. The spike trap is down, so he's kept the charrette he wants to keep alive on the center, and the two cards that can be lost in the woods back in are the ones that are on the edges. So if they even get damaged, there you go. Hand of Dis doesn't matter.
No, really don't mind losing that.
Ronnie Wiscock steals two.
Nice. You're going to mug the charrette, I guess.
Definitely going to mug the charrette. That'll get him up to 4. Not bad. Do you pay the 1 amber to get the Lash of Broken Dreams and just reap for 3 next turn, though? You're 2 keys ahead, so you're not too bothered about amber at all. Both you and your opponent are still chained to hell.
Yeah. I'd want to get that flash out.
Yeah, I'd want to tempt my opponent with a chance of getting that key, and possibly get them into a false sense of security where they make misplays, and drop the Lash of Broken Dreams for 1 amber. Get myself halfway towards my final key. Discard the Lash of Broken Dreams.
Whoa.
Again, we can see the opponent's hands. We know they've had these Brobnar chains in their hand for so long. And this Brobnar board has not been able to do anything for them. Campos perfectly here. Got the Ember Imp ready to go. So next turn, drop the Ember Imp, reap for 4,
Forge.
and the opponents just can't do anything.
Yeah.
Got to play.
Play.
Got to play Brobnar here. Got to get the Brobnar boys down. And Campos next turn just pushes and takes this first game 3-0. For very similar SAS scores, it's quite clear that Campos' deck is, as you said, more consistent. The consistency is what has been the difference here.
Yeah, it's a killer.
The arises with Charrette and the Terror, the ability to keep replaying these threats. Discards Iron Staff.
Yeah, he's using the Rock Curling Giant too.
Oh yeah, but he still can't do enough damage.
No.
So isn't gonna get the 3-0 because his opponent's now on 6. But is going to be able to just next turn go boom boom, get to 7. Oh no, discards no.
Oh, there's a world in which you Lost in the Woods and then regrowth the charrette back.
Possibly. Plays Groke. No, not with the way that not with the way the board's set up now.
No.
If he'd have used that to take out a charrette, or take out a, if he'd have taken out one of the creatures on the board, so that he would have been on 2 creatures and sitting on 6 exactly, but no. You drop the Ember Imp, you reap for 3, and you pray that your opponent hasn't got the Berserker Slam, which we can see they've got in hand.
Yeah.
But again, your opponent's playing reactively.
Would play.
Forcing your opponent to play reactively is perfect. Alternatively, which I hadn't seen, he's got City Gates and a Sense of Strix, which Mike could use to just do some serious damage to this spawner.
I
Has
never go
played the
though.
Lost in the Woods to get rid of the creatures in there. Myself personally, I'd be holding on to those Lost in the Woods for Sinister Strixes. When they're a pain to deal with, especially once they get protected.
Oh, that's not a bad play though.
That is not bad at all. That is no, that is perfect. You want to bring? Yep, that gets him to 8. That is a beautiful number. Berserker Slam gets to 7. Grok does nothing. Chance of Hubris does nothing. City Gates can only capture 1. Power Guardian does. Oh, I think that's
that's
it.
game.
But with such a one-sided game, the chance that is going to come down to chains. And how many chains would you go to get this deck from Campos?
City Gates to capture 2.
Takes him exactly to 6. Quest to Jata. Plays the Chant of Hubris to move 1 from Strix to yeah. Puts it on. Oh, interesting play there. But no, Campos has taken the first game.
Yeah. Very quick, actually, that deck as well.
It was. Well, this is the power of KOTE. If you can't answer the speed of KOTE has raw power, and that's where a lot of the fact where people call it overpowered come from, is the fact that it's just a lot of the cards are just good, consistent cards. And you need to be able to essentially shut down the momentum of a KOTE deck. If you can't shut down the momentum of a KOTE deck, then you're playing
I think that's why they've done the cycling thing that they're doing for
Vault Warrior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's going to go ahead.
I imagine so, but it's going to be essentially starting next year rather than this year. But I like that. I mean, I've played other card games like Magic, other ones like that. And the one thing I didn't like about card games like Yu-Gi-Oh! Is they release a new set and they just mix it into all the other previous cards. And I hated that. But with Magic, I like the rotation system and I think it's going to be good for Vault Warrior. I'd like to see something similar in Vault Tours. Like possibly have like a KOTE only or an AOA only or Worlds Collide only. Or like more limitations and make it a bit more.
Yeah, I'd like to see them do something as well in Vault Tours and possibly like the Nationals as well, the top tier tournaments.
Because we have had Worlds Collide decks win Vault Tours and we've had AOA decks get close, but 99% of the time KOTE is still dominating, and that's one of the reasons why it wasn't like immediately out of rotation for Vault Warrior, because it was just going to immediately take over.
Yeah, it's overpowering. What do you think about the idea of once your deck wins a Vault Tour or a National, then it ascends? It can't be played in that level of tournament again.
I don't like that for one reason. Card games have an established meta, and Keyforge is a lot harder because all the decks are different, but the underlying themes of the decks stay the same. So, for example, Gasoline, the deck that's won 2 Vault Tours in a row, that's George's deck. It's a control disruption deck. And it's a deck that you don't see that often. And if you take that out of the circulation, then players are never going to know how to beat it. And if you came up against George at a Vault Tour, you see that he's running Gasoline, because you get to look at your opponent's list.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's a case of, when you go to an event, you can't plan for everything, but you need to know. But if you know certain players are going to be there, you know what certain decks are going to have. For example, at the UK Vault Tour, at the UK GC, everyone that knew me knew I was going to be bringing my Prime deck. So if they came up against me, the first question they have was, "Is it your Prime deck?" And I'm like, "No, that's my last deck."
Yeah, I know that deck.
But the game's going on. Yeah, Mike's jumping straight in with the Bromnar, and this look at this Bromnar destruction straight away. Prefecture Ludo's down, and we've got a Centurion down. Troll is going to make quick work of these guys here.
Yeah, I think so too. And he's got a Ganger in hand as well.
Do you sacrifice the troll to wipe them both out? No. I guess you troll into the Centurion, then use Ganger to heal free from the troll.
Yeah, and gain the amber.
Gain the amber. There was also the option of getting one extra amber and sacking the troll, but I think Mike made the right play there. Could have also dropped the punch just to get the extra amber as well. I guess he's
paid that punch first to.
Yeah, but I think he's holding on to the punch because he's planning to go into Brobnar next turn as well.
I think you're right. And it'll work wonderfully on that Vinder.
Exactly. Archives the Oubliette, not wanting to discard it and draw more, looking to save it. Berserker Slam has got nice option here with the Heber Huge there. There's the punch. There's the Reap up to 9.
Cool.
There is no stopping that. I think the Flex is just going to be a discard at this point. Do you Spike Trap first, or do you use Berserker Slam then Spike Trap? Go Shadows. So just accepts the fact that he can't stop this key, and the Berserker Slam would just be not much. Subtle Chain gets a discard. On Nocturnal Maneuver, that is a good discard. And here we see a Groke, an Alakar, a Berserker Slam, a Barn Raising, and a Flex.
Nice cards, but I mean,
it takes setup. That's the problem.
Exactly right. It takes setup.
Flex is going to be a discard here. Flex is only really good with Lollop or cards that boost themselves up as they go. A Mega Narp, for example, would be a good one for Flex. But, I mean, if you can get Groke down and find a target for it with a Barn Raising, that's 2 amber they're losing, which is huge. Punch comes down again.
Reap.
Fight, reap. Puts the pressure on the second key on turn 4. Yeah. On Mike's turn 4, he is sat on the second key. And he has only gone Brobnar this game. The flex of power.
Power of Brobnar, though, in KOTE again.
So you Spike Trap here, Berserker Slam the Troll, wiping out your opponent's board. Yes, you're 2 keys down.
But at least you hold off that 3rd key for a little while.
Exactly, and you're sitting on your 1st key as well. Now Spike Trap to get rid of the board and get your armor back. Perfect.
There we go.
Groke, Alakar. Now, do you discard the Barn? Uses Barn Raising, which doesn't do anything. Plays Flex, which doesn't do anything. So 7 to 6, 42nd key.
Oh, Drumble. He's got Drumble in hand.
No, he's got Ember Imp.
Is it Ember Imp?
It's Ember Imp. Drumble's not in the list.
Ah.
If he had Double Arise, Drumble, Terror, I would have immediately picked up on that and been making, because Drumble Terror is one of my favourite combos, and one of my decks that I don't play anymore has got Double Hysteria, Drumble Terror, and it is just dirty. Right, if you're Mike here, do you carry on the Brobnar train? You can't really take your pawn off the key. Looks like they are going to... I guess if you want to give Groke...
And hope to pull into a couple more untamed creatures.
It's also the fact you don't want to give Groke any value in its attacks.
Yeah.
You play Heeb, Reap with Ganga Chieftain, or possibly fight it to get rid of 1. If you're going to fight with the Ganga Chieftain, you should have fought the Alaka first, then play Heeb, because then it wouldn't have damaged the Ganga Chieftain. It would have only get damaged to Groke. I think that's what Mike's realising now.
Yeah.
Plays Bumsy. Yes, your opponent's getting a key here, but it's one key down. You're one key up. And
I would read it.
what I like here is the damage to Groke is 2, which is perfect, which means he can play Mamook next turn and no, it's not going to cost him Amber from Groke. The second Groke, however, is a different matter. Or are these 2 Bromnack cards just going to get discarded? Now he's going to wipe out the Ganga Chieftain, or is he just going to go for the damage? Knowing that Mike has got a Coward's End in deck. Remember, this is Campos' deck, so Campos knows there's Coward's End.
Yeah.
And that's why he hasn't gone for the extra damage. Ancient Power is going to be very interesting here.
Works well with City Gates, actually.
If I'm Mike now, I'm checking my discard for Untamed, because you've got the Full Moon. Yeah, I'm also checking my discard for Charette, because if I can arise Charette into Terror for 2, that's a good look. That's a good day's work. But
I think he's pretty much only played Brobnar, though, hasn't he?
he has only really played Bromnar. He can arise back the Bromnar and that'll do something. He could play the Full Moon, play the Mamook, and then regrowth the Ganga Chieftain to get some extra work in from those guys. But in all honesty, if I'm Mike, am I thinking that this is the way to go? Because although Ember costs you an Amber from the Grokes, it does force your opponent back into Bromnar, and if they've been playing Bromnar as much as you've got to know that they've only got a Bromnar card as well.
Yep. Put it there and force them to answer it.
Exactly. You want your opponent reactive. You do not want your opponent taking control of the game when you're a key up. You want to be in full control of the game. You want your opponent playing around you. You do not want to be having to react to your opponent, because that's how you lose games. There's the Ember Imp.
Yep.
No immediate way to answer that in hand, so it's going to have to be on the board. Plays Arise, goes for... Has to be Bromnar, because he hasn't played anything other than Bromnar. And look at that. Ganga Chieftain, Troll, Headhunter, Ganga Chieftain, and Heeb the Huge.
Disgusting next turn coming up.
If only he had a way to play that Full Moon beforehand. That would be delicious.
Maverick Helper Bot in Brobnar.
What, in a KOTE deck? That'd be insane. Yep, so forces opponent to go into Bromnar. Reap, reap, reap. Gets up to 5. Now, Heap the Huge is going to do 2 damage. So if he's going to fight with his creatures, he needs to do it before playing Heap, or else he's just going to be trading 1-for-1s. Do you reap, and then use Ganga Chieftain to fight Terror into 1, and then use Troll to fight, and then play Troll and Ganga Chieftain and Troll into another?
Yeah, I think so. I think you need to get Amber here.
You do, and if you're going to be sat there and your opponent's going to plays Heap anyway, so doesn't care. So
That told me he's going to reap.
no, he's going for the fight.
Wow.
Fights, but I mean, he has got other rises and other cards to bring about. He's got regrowth in hand, so regrowth in the bumps is not a bad deal. Bumps into Groke. If he fights with Heap with the second Heap here, then that was a bit of a misplay, because he could have let Heap survive.
Yeah, he's reaped.
He's
There we
reaped
go.
there. He's also kept the Terror alive, which
Yeah,
feels
it's
weird.
interesting, because I would have put that on the other side. So as you said, you could gang a chieftain down to use that terror.
Ganga
to fight.
Chieftain Headhunter into Alaka to get the extra boost. And then you
So,
can play Troll, Ganga Chieftain Troll, and put that into the second Groke.
yeah, here it comes.
Or maybe Rock. No, keeps the Rock on the Giant. No, there's not much to discard.
It's a
And
familiar board state now.
a full untamed hand for Mike here. That is 4 Amber Pips in hand, thanks to Full Moon. Campus has to go. Saurian adds the Questijata into hand. Exalt, yep, goes for the Exalt because then he can use the Plague's Auxiliary, plays the Questijata, plays the power to, yep, perfectly done, because now it can't be lost in the woods away. Protected by Taunt with Hazardous, which means that none of the big guys can even get to it. Ronnie Wristbox is going to be huge here.
Yeah, but if this was me, I would just reap out.
But he hasn't gone through much of his deck, and looking at where he's got in hand, I would go full, because you got to look at 6 in the board, 4 in hand, and he can deal with a couple of big threats. He can play the Mamook, which causes his opponent to pay more for the key. He can then stun. He can stun the Senator Strix, which means it can't reap and get the Exalt again. He can Lost in the Woods back in the 2 Ganga Chieftains, which means he gets their abilities again and gets rid of the Questijata and the Taunter, which leaves Senator Strix open to his Bromnar board next turn. But no, looks like he's going with your approach and just reaping it out. Nope, it's going straight to 8.
Yep.
And I think that's it. Really?
Yep. So you got the running will take 2 to take him to 6.
Running will take him to 6. Mug does nothing. Customs Office does nothing. Special does nothing. A much closer game.
Yep.
But not by much. And the majority of that game was just Bromnar. Bromnar carried Mike so far through there. If you can establish an early Bromnar board, you can do so much.
Oh yeah, it's terrifying.
It happened to me at the UKGC. It happened to me at the UKGC. Ollie, aka Pie established a Bromnar board, and he kept bouncing it and replaying it, and they all had trigger abilities when they came onto the board, and it was so hard to get the win against him. It was a real uphill fight. I really wish that one had been streamed because that was such a good game. There it is. Mike takes the win. He goes to check himself. So one more turn, and he'd have had that. So that's 1 apiece. So now we go to the bidding of the chains. How many chains would you pay for Campos' deck here?
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine going 2 cards down. I think I'd max out around the 5-6 mark.
Yeah, I think so as well. I wouldn't want to go too far. And I don't know, top of my mind here would be the fact that in some way he was lucky to get that big Brobnar turn early, right?
Exactly.
To get all the boys out. And if you go, what's he said there? 6?
No, 0. So it's
0.
Campos' deck, so he starts with a bid of 0. So Mike then gets the bid. And what I do when bidding chains is I watch how quickly my opponent responds. And even if I'm unsure, if I pre-establish a number in my head, and then I quickly just bid straight away, just one up. Because the quicker you bid, the more confident you seem going in there. Even if it's the last chain I'm going to go off, I won't hesitate, because I want my opponent to think that I'm willing to go higher. The longer you take to make the decision, the more you telegraph to your opponent that you are thinking of backing out.
Unless he just jumps straight in now and lays down 5.
Yeah, if you can do that as well. If you're confident and you just go boom 5, and then your opponent goes 7, you go, okay, I'm out. But with that kind of close game, the first game wasn't too close, but the game that was there, that was a lot closer. I think both Mike and Campos know that this is going to be very draw dependent, and if you go 2 cards down, even if it's for 1 turn, because you don't know who's going first, it's going to cause a big shift in the momentum.
It is, exactly. I think it's going to kill you, and maybe that's why then the strategy is to just jump straight in.
Well, that's just it. But we're on turn 9 here, which means for 9, if you go 7, for the majority of the game,
Yeah,
you're going to be a card down, and that is a huge swing.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is why I'd go 4 or 5. Half of the turns, especially if you're going first, which means that you get that double. You get 1 when you first draw, and then 1 when you play the 1 card, which means you've automatically gone down by 2, which is perfect. Well, 1-1 here. I was trying to remember which order it was that they won, and I wanted to make sure that it was at least 1-1 when we went into the final game. So I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
I didn't want
to. Interesting thing here is chain bidding online like this is very different from doing it face to face in person as well. Because Mike could have just been going to the loo, right?
Yeah. Mike could have been going to the loo, could have been all sorts going on. And this is one of the things, when I talk to some of the UA guys and stuff like that, a lot of them don't play online because it isn't the same thing. You've got, to put it a better, without having a better way to put it, you've got that aura of body language when you're playing against an opponent. Online, you don't know if your opponent's got chatting to someone, if they've got something else they're doing, or if they're taking the time. But if you're sat across from someone, you can physically see how they're playing the game. If they're starting to stumble, if they're starting to sweat, if they're starting to get nervous, you can see these things. And body language is a huge part of any card game.
Yep, agreed.
And one of the things I found out when I went to Cheltenham is I have a tell. When I'm overconfident in a game, I will start narrating my opponent's turns. Because Stuart Green, amazing player, I was playing him in the quarterfinals of the Prime, and he played Exhume, and I was like, so that's going to be for Ronnie? And he's like, I know you're doing it with the best of intentions, but can you stop narrating my turns? Because for the last few turns, you've just told me exactly what I'm going to be doing. And I know you're not doing it on purpose, but you could also be seen as leading me into my turns. And I was like, I didn't even know I did it, but yeah, I'm automatically assessing my opponent's best plays and telling them what they are, and sometimes that can lead them to make misplays because they don't want to do what I'm telling them.
Yep.
Campos has gone to 6. Now that should be it. If he goes higher here, then if Mike goes higher, I think Campos bows out. But you can see Campos trying to lead the conversation because you got 1 chain, then the and that's Campos deciding how high he wants to go. And as soon as Mike has responded, Campos has immediately come back in with the next bid. So Mike taking his time here, and if Mike doesn't bow out of this from when he goes to 7, then I think Campos will, because you can't guarantee who's going first. In a physical game, you can, because you know if you lost that game, you're going first, so you can go to 7, draw 5 cards for your opening hand, play 1 card, and then draw 1 card because you've gone back down to 6 chains. But in this game, you don't know if you're going to be starting off with 4 cards and then going up to 5 on your second turn.
He's gone to 7.
Mike goes to 7. Will we see Campos bow out? I personally would. I think so. Yeah, there we go.
Yep, there we go.
I said I'd bow out at 7. You said you'd bow out at 7. And Campos has bowed out at 7. Okay, so Campos goes with a lol. Can he hear us in the past? It's just, yeah, Campos has gone to lol and then question marks underneath the Team Mavericks post there. But, okay. I just get rid of it for a second. You can see he goes lol, and then he goes mistake. It's like I'm sure he could hear us in the past. Oh, they hadn't swapped decks.
Yep.
He pressed rematch and swapped decks when he didn't want to swap decks. I think that bid of 7. Campos chooses to go first. Mike needs to add his chains on. So with Campos going first, because he won that game, it means that Mike is starting on 4 for the first turn. Which means even if he gets... He'd have to draw a very good hand in order to keep the same momentum as what Campos is going to have.
Yeah, I agree. But 4 Brobnar creatures, one of them a Ganga Chieftain.
But you got to also assess the fact that your mulligans don't count. So if he mulligans here, he's going down to 3 cards.
Yes.
And that is very dangerous. It's something I should really do. I've got decks that I've got to power level 3. I've just not played them, and I should really try playing my decks that are power level 2 or higher to get used to playing with cards down. Oh, this is where they thought I wasn't in the game. It's like, yeah, I'm in the game. Got away from catch up. But this has been a very even game. Both players playing beautifully well.
Yeah, been very, very good. Very interesting to see how this deck's going to cope under these chains.
This is the problem with me recording the games whilst I'm on daddy duty. I see these messages quite late because I'm chasing Flynn around. And I just leave the games recording.
Yeah.
If I skip ahead, is it going to... Oh, no, I need to click there. 1 spectator, yes, so they knew I was here. Oh, thank God. Yeah, I didn't see these messages at all. I was on Monday, I was on full daddy duty. So that is not a good hand for Mike. Inca, Mamook, Hand of Dis, and Troll.
Oof.
Again, Campos not got the best hand either. It's a bit more proactive, but there's the mulligan, and that the Terror is not a bad turn 1 play. It's not. Campos is not going to be getting amber, so Mike's going to walk away with 2 ambers straight away from this. But again, it's going to be a 1 card play into a 1 card play.
This is going to draw up now to 5.
He's going to drop to 5. He's going to need more Untamed support to make this. Double regrowth so early is going to be so devastating. It is 3 amber pips and a Mamook. But do you just go Saurian here and just go nuts? Plays Auxiliary. Plays Centaurian on the other side of Power Guardian. Yeah. Captures 1. Reap. Exalt.
Ancient Power.
Well, if he's got Ancient Power, should he have played the Centaurian on the other side? Because it would have had the exact same effect.
Yeah, and then it would have had Taunt on it as well.
And then it would have had Taunt protecting it, and then he would have had the ability to ward up one of his Brobnar creatures in the future.
Yeah, totally agree.
This Lost in the Woods is completely dead. This Hand of Dis doesn't really do anything here. Lost in the Woods can pop the wards, but 2 of those wards can be redone. So Mike just going for a rush strategy here. Just basically play cards from my hand, get as much as amber as I can, and stay ahead of my opponent.
He should have done the Lost in the Woods before he put the Mamook.
I think Mike's flustered here, and that he's got tilted from the bad hand, and he's misplayed the Mamook. He wanted to Lost in the Woods first, but he ended up Mamooking first, and he didn't want to ask his opponent to let him take it back. So, yeah, go Brobner here. Drop the big boy board. Now, you see, if Campos had played the Centaurian on the other side of the taunt, he could have put his Grog next to the Power Guardian.
Yep.
And that would have been huge, because a Narp in the middle, I've not seen many people play Narp in the middle. People usually keep a Narp on a flank because you don't want two of your creatures forced to fight.
It's very.
But I guess in this situation it's quite okay because you can Power Guardian to reap. Ward up.
Power Guardian.
No, he can reap. He can reap a Power Guardian, ward up the Centaurian, then use the Centaurian to fight warded.
Yeah.
Very, very, very good. But I think a warded Grok would be better because you're making them lose one. But damn, Coward's End just gets rid of that conversation. Mike goes up to check thanks to the exalted creatures, and I think that's going to be Spike Trap. Going to use Mug to damage his own creature. Answers check with check. But the Coward's End took him back up to 7 chains, so he went down to 4 cards. Oh, Mike is getting punished. That's one of the things you need to take into account when bidding chains. How many chains would the deck give me? And with Coward's End and Gateway to Dis, that's an extra 6 chains that are hiding in that deck. Hand of Dis does nothing. Shrek gets him off the key. Rock Hurtling Giant into discarding Flamethrower to kill Charette, or do you go Phallic Strike into Charette into Special Delivery?
Oh, here we go. More shadows.
Plays Custom Office again. The Custom Office doesn't do much. I think next turn Mike's going to go Brobnar and hope to draw more Untamed creatures. Because he's got a Hunting Witch and a Full Moon. And he can't stop his opponent getting this key. So dropping these 2 creatures, I think one of which is King of the Crag, which is going to do some nice work. Because we haven't seen King of the Crag come down when the opponent's actually got Brobnar in play. Okay. So Mike, trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah, Untamed.
See, the Untamed to me, if he draws more Untamed here, he's going to regret this. But 3 Amber is not too bad.
Be kicking himself.
But no, he draws the Brobnar, so he made the correct choice.
Yeah, and again, he's saying to his opponent, you need to deal with this Hunting Witch.
Which he can. I mean, he's got Axiom Gris, he's got Phallic Strike, he's got Berserker Slam. Now, Berserker Slam goes on to the Hunting Witch quite easily. Rock Hunting Giant's going to be huge here. So, Berserker Slam the Hunting Witch, and next turn, the Auxiliary gets punched. And then do you use Ganga Chieftain into the Inca to take out the Rock Hunting Giant? Because he's got Poisonous.
Yep.
Both players are 1 key, 2 Amber. The chains, Mike has been drawing really well. He's had very stacked hands. If he'd have had 2/2/1s hands, this could be a completely different game. But that's not to put Campus out of this game. Campus very much in control. Look at his own hand here. He is ready to go with this City Gates. He's got Question Jar. He's got Phallic Strike. He's got Axiom Grisk. He is more than ready to put up a fight. Especially if Mike wipes this board, because he plays Question Jar, he plays Axiom Grisk, and he wipes his opponent's board. There's punch. You know,
Yeah.
not many people take advantage of the Inca's poison ability because it doesn't have skirmish.
No, but it's still a fantastic way to get rid of something big.
Exactly. A lot of people forget it's got the poisoned one because its a Reap ability is still so strong. It's a very underutilized card. Oh, Campus made a misplay. He should have played Questijata first before the Axiom. Now he's asking his opponent if he can take it back because he has to give a creature ward.
This is interesting. At this level of play, the thing here for me is this is not a mistake you would make in real life.
No. Well, some players would, but if you sat at a table and again it's one of those different things. When you got the cards physically in front of you, you can arrange them in a way you want.
Yeah. When you've got the Axiom of Grisk in your hand and you're going towards the table with it and you realise what you've done, you can just pull it back. And you can't do that on TCO.
No. And it's all down to you if your opponent will let you. And this is what Campos is trying to do here. And as admins, we won't step in. It's a case of it is entirely up to your opponent. The same as the judge would come over. If you did play Axiom of Grisk without a creature on the board, the turn will go, it's up to your opponent if they'll let you take it back. And it looks like Mike is not allowing the take back. And that could be huge here.
Yeah, I think it could be.
Looking at what they've got in hand, I think next turn is a dis turn. Drop the Ember Imp and then arise back the Untamed package, get back your Hunting Witch, get back your Mamook, get back your Inca, get the Phylaxia, and just get a butt ton of Ember.
That's a massive turn. Is that Nocturnal Maneuvers he's got in hand as well, right?
No, yeah, that's Nocturnal Maneuvers as well, but which will deal with the Questijata.
Yeah, exactly.
But Mike not allowing the manual mode. Yeah, and it's a shame, Campos, but it is your opponent's prerogative as to whether or not you are allowed to take it back. It sucks, and as Tom said, it would not happen in real life. A misplay like that is very unlikely to happen in real life. But from my side of it, I can understand Mike as well. If I was in the finals of Voltor and my opponent went Axiom of Grisk, and then went, oh, can I take that back? I need to play creature first. I'd be like, yeah, no. Nice try, mate.
I would be the same. It would be a definite no.
It just pulls out the FFG rulebook and shows players at a Voltor are expected to have a reasonable understanding of the game. Nah, mate. Mike, trying to figure out what to play here. With the loss of the Brobnar board, I do think it's a dis turn.
I think so too. The power of the Arise into that Untamed sweep, especially with that Hunting Witch there at this point in the game.
If he'd have lost the Ganga Chieftain as well, I'd have said a Rise into Brobnar would also be just as tasty. But you know me, I like my Hunting Witches. I think going a Rise into Untamed with the Hunting Witch, the Mamook. No.
Oh wow.
Just going for check. Interesting. Now we're almost out of chains. Mike has only got 2 chains left.
But if he can manage to forge on it, if you're thinking about what's in his head, if he's thinking he can manage to forge on his next turn and then a Rising.
Now here's the problem: 5 cards in hand. Subtle Chain gets rid of Ember Imp, and Subtle Maul gets rid of the Troll.
Oof.
That is a huge comeback. Strix now in hand. Here comes the dis turn.
You've got to discard the gateway, haven't you?
He's looking at the gateway like, is it worth 3 more chains to get rid of those 2 creatures? Questajar is a big boy, and he knows that City Gates triggers on dinosaurs, so he's going to be having 2 captured.
Yeah.
He doesn't know about the Strix in hand. If he doesn't gateway to this here, then Senator Strix becomes even more dangerous because you can take the one from Questajar and put it on the Senator Strix.
It's a lot of brain burn here, I think.
There is. You got to think they're 2 games in as well. It's okay for us watching; we're not using as much, but the mental fatigue of 2 high-end games which have been close, and then going into this game where they have been so evenly matched up to this point. The chains have done their job perfectly. They have made this game so even.
Yeah, super balanced.
Is this going to be a gateway into this Arise on this to bring back the Ember Imp? No, it's just a pass.
Now double Arise, yo.
But that's not too bad because he can Arise this and then he can Rise Untamed after he can on gateway to this. Blow up the board, bring back the Shula and the Falaxio using double Arise and set up a huge Untamed turn, following the huge turn there.
Yeah. There's also Arising the Untamed and Arising the Brobnar.
That is also true. This is close. If you drop the Strix, you can capture 2 of the City Gates, move 1 of the 2 to your opponent's side, making it even harder, and then reap with... This is the problem with playing Exalted against a KOTE deck. They have so many answers that Exalted can sometimes just keep giving your opponent amber.
Yep.
Strix needs to be protected. If he exalts Questajar here, takes 2 damage and leaves itself very vulnerable. Because Ragnarok triggers, plays Chant the Hubris, moves that onto the Ganga Chieftain. Interesting. You've got to play Strix and then capture onto the Strix. You need to threaten like a damn boss.
And you've got to get him off check.
Wipes his own board, makes it a lot less appealing to play that Gateway to this. This Gateway to this is now so bad. But it will...
Got to be discard. And had he discarded it a turn or so ago when I first suggested, be a much better position now.
Got Life Web, but only played 1 creature, so that does nothing. Heap the Huge does 2 to send Strix, which trades out but puts him so far ahead. Shadows doesn't really... Again, looking at Campos' hand, it doesn't really do much. If he'd had the Prefecture Ludo last turn...
Yeah, the play here is discard the Gateway, Shula into the Strix, Arise the disc creatures, Shula back out.
Put yourself on check because you know you're going to be forging, and yeah, or you won't. You're not even necessarily forging because Prefecture Ludo can capture 2 straight away again. But you get your Ember Imp out, which is going to be good, and you set up a huge Untamed turn.
Yes, exactly.
Goes for the fight.
Yeah.
There is an argument for just reaping with the Shula, blowing up the board with the Gateway to this, because if you're filling your hand up with this and filling your hand up with Untamed, the chains don't matter anymore.
This is true, actually, because you don't care about draw at that point.
No. Unless Mike's thinking more proactively and is thinking that he can Gateway to this, Arise, bring back Ember Imp and Shula if they're dealt with again. Ember Imp, not that much of a threat at the moment.
No, just Arise into Untamed.
Yeah, I think if Mike arises into Untamed here, that clenches the W. But he'd have to have the Flaxu as well, because you're only looking at Mamook, Inca, and Hunting Witch. The Flaxu's what cinches it.
Yeah. So then you've got a Gateway.
You've got you.
It means he should have gatewayed in the beginning.
Yeah, I think Reaping with the Shula, and then gatewaying the entire board. Yes, it gives you the chains, but you're playing Ember Imp, which means your opponent's only playing a 2-card turn or dealing with the Ember Imp, and that means they can't deal. And it's very likely they can deal with the Ember Imp and deal with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points you're going to be generating next turn.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Think. Yes, indeed.
Mike can also hear us, apparently. I think this is what he's thinking about, what to do with the second Arise.
Yes.
And I think we've got it right here. It should be the Untamed play, but the Flaxus should have been discarded as well.
What about Brobnar here, though?
Brobnar gets him King of the Crag, Ganga Chieftain, Troll, Heeb. It gets him a lot of big boy units, but you got to think that's a turn of getting them on the board.
Yeah, this is true. And given that Campos is going to forge here, so
Campos is going to forge, and Mike does not know what he has in hand. This is Mike's deck, and he must know that with the city gates out, with the stuff that's on the board, it could be quite dangerous. I think the problem with Gateway to this now is it gives Campos the opportunity to play Prefecture Ludo, City Gates, and deny that key for another turn. The problem with holding on to it is that means that he can literally next turn just go Hidden Stash Ludo, drop Javinder, and then Subtle Maul, and hope to hit something big. I think Mike was shook up at the beginning, but Campos' misplay of the Axiom Grisk has snapped him back into playing, and he's now playing at a much higher standard than he was before that.
Yeah, I think he has brought it back from the beginning.
Because being 2 cards down, being up against a deck playing the deck that is not that much better than your own, and being that far down can trigger you. There's the Gateway.
Oof.
Plays the Arise again, goes back up to 5 chains just to steal an extra Amber.
What is he? I want to know. Arise.
He's Arise in disc because he hasn't played the Ember Imp yet.
Yeah, good shout.
Yeah, returns Shula to the hand. He's given 1 Amber back to his opponent. There's another move. Has Ganga in hand. Has Keep the Huge in hand. Place in his stash. Prefecture Ludo. Yep. Discards Life Web.
Nah.
Yancy Gang, Javinder.
Now, really nothing to use it with. Flex is pointless here.
But Ragnarok, it could be huge. If Mike makes a mistake and reaps with Ember Imp first, he loses that Ember Imp to Ragnarok.
Yeah.
There's not much in his hand that actually does anything. Again, we're seeing this exact same pattern throughout the entirety of this game. Keys even, Amber even, but the chains are what are keeping Mike down. Discards Lash,
it shows as well that I think 6 chains is like the maximum
Yeah.
that this deck could have coped with.
If he'd have been on 6 chains, he would have shed his chain a long time ago, and he'd have been able to get. He would have been one card up a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
Goes Brobnar. You play Iron Staff. You play Groke. Discards the barn raising. Discards Flex.
Flex.
I'd have kept the barn raising. Spike. Now, this is interesting. If Mike just reaps here, he's in trouble.
Yes.
Because if he just goes, okay, I go this, reap, I keep him locked down with this, and I get myself to 6, then Campos immediately answers with Senator Strix, Phallic Strike, City Gates. Come at me, bro. But then he needs an answer for that, because Mike can immediately answer that with Ganga Chieftain into Hebe.
If Mike doesn't go to check here, though, right, and you're Campos, then you are subtle mauling, because knocking one of those 5 cards out of that hand is super painful.
He's going to check, and this is where you've got to answer with the Brobnar suite. Not with the he's pulled the Prefecture Ludo back. Perfect. So this Amber is now going to be lost. You play Strix. You exalt it. You play the Phallic Strike. If you fuck up with the Ludo, he isn't going to let you back. Perfect. Exalt it onto Strix. Take out the Shula.
There we go. And
then you City Gates.
Nope.
Yeah. Then you City Gates onto Strix. Because a lot of people make the mistake, they put Amber onto Ludo expecting it to protect itself, but it doesn't. It only protects other creatures. Other dinosaurs, exactly. So now that's 4 Amber that is going to be lost to Mike because of this. And look at this Shadows package in his hand.
Beautiful.
So Oubliette goes. Spike Trap. Mug gets him to 7, and then Yancey Gang, and that is game unless Mike draws beautifully. Plays second Hebe. Plays Ganga Chieftain. Wipes out the Strix. Doesn't get his Amber back thanks to Ludo, and that Ludo is what is going to swing this game in Campus's favour.
Yeah. It's definitely swinging that way now.
Charette is in it. What is these draws at the right times? If he subtle mauls Charette here, it's going to be the greatest RNG of all time. Doesn't subtle maul the Charette.
Which in the eye?
Mamook wasn't enough. Literally, Charette is the only card in his hand that delays it, and it doesn't even delay it by that long because he plays Hand of this to get rid of Groke, Charette, and then Spike Trap gets rid of the Charette. Mike is forced to play reactively now. And that is not what you want.
Well, he's got to get him off check somehow as well, hasn't he? The Mamook.
He gets him.
The Charette will do it, yeah.
Yeah, the Charette does it. Charette was the only answer. Mamook was not enough.
Yeah. But then...
And then Spike Trap gets rid of the Charette. So he can literally go into any house this time. Goes Saurian, because he can protect Ludo with his auxiliary now.
Yeah, and the Thero there as well. He wants to get to check though. That's the thing.
Well, he can get to check. He's got the double spike traps. Yeah,
of course. Yeah, he bounces the Charette, and then you go in Saurians here.
Yeah, going whatever he played here, it did not matter. Spike trap. He's playing creatures before and after the spike traps to keep his dinos alive. Nicely done. Is there a point here where when you did 3 points to your auxiliary, that you then city gated onto your auxiliary to capture 2, spike trap again to kill your own auxiliary, with Ludo surviving, getting rid of 2 of your opponent's amber?
Yeah.
Goes up to 8. Mike's got no answer to this. The 7 chains was just too much with how many chains the deck produced as well. Both players played beautifully in all 3 of these games. This has been so close all the way through.
It has. 2 very closely matched decks.
Exactly. And even with the chains, Mike has almost got to the bottom of this deck. Beautifully done with the Lost in the Woods. Plays the Mamook, but it's not enough.
Yep.
Campos takes the win. Beautifully played by both of them. Apart from the, Axiom fuck up. But everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. Fantastic set of games.
Why have I got another 4 minutes on this? That's not good. I must have messed up. Oh, there we go. Campos is saying that he's going to get revenge on them. Okay.